Hey, welcome back to Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. I'm your host, Tom. Today we're looking at another blade from Chen. This is the Beiyang Saber. This one's really awesome. There's some specs, up-close looks, and a little bit of movement. All right, first impressions and a little bit of history into this one. This is the German M1889 Saber. This is identical, the Beiyang Saber is identical to the 1889 Saber. This is a cavalry saber, so it's gonna have more range to it. It's lightweight. This thing, I can't really stress enough, in the amount of sabers that I've reviewed on this channel, this thing is one of the most lightweights. So our ability to cut on this one and to get this thing back, the ability to hold thrust. If you need to cut in the last second, you need to pull your hand out, especially if you were more mounted and you need to pull that out. It's awesome. One thing also to mention is that this wood cord, this wood handle, we have the rib pieces on this one. You're gonna get a lot more up close looks of it. And this has, I won't say a pistol grip because that won't be accurate, but the forefinger, it's gonna be hard to, no, I can get it from here. The forefinger has an entire notch right here. Whoop. So that's an entire notch with the forefinger. So if you did need to move this, look how easy it is to move the tip from the forefinger position. And it's gonna obviously ensure security of grip and also precision on the line. So if you did have to cut, if you did have to pull your hand out, it's really nice to have that molded. It also helps with ensuring that you're not fatiguing your grip, especially if you already were riding a horse, you got enough to think about. Hand protection wise, not much different. I would put this in the category of a D-guard, and not just a D-guard alone, but also having this protection of the outside of the center. So if you're looking at this straight on, it might look kind of weird. I'm not gonna thrust my lens. Looking at that straight on, there's the outside where the dragon is. And you'll see on the inside, it's not symmetrical, it's not supposed to be. That way the outside line is protected. So if someone did try to take your hand off, if you were thrusting, you wanna have that space protected as much as possible. So it's a really, really sweet design. I did not know about the history of it, so I'm glad I looked that up. If you want to read more about it, make sure to click the link in the description below this video to check this one out. Let's talk about the scabbard. It's a pretty standard scabbard. It's more of a brushed steel, meaning it's not like a mirror polish, which I like because it's going to be easier for us to maintain. Whether you live in a high humidity climate like I do, whether you don't, and you just want to keep everything in good condition. It's a very well made scabbard. It's really tough. The rings don't move, but you can obviously wear this if you wanted to add sword attachments to it. Something that I get mixed up sometimes, yeah, it's the other way, is there's a notch. See like how the notch is on the bottom closest to the rings? That's the notch where you're supposed to put this in. Whoop. And then that way the hangers on it and also the notch right here, that can be worn. So if you are wearing this, either for reenactment, for cut testing, maybe you do mounted cavalry stuff, which would be really cool to hear about. Either way, this is a great one to add to a collection if you're into mounted cavalry. So, and then the draw. Let's talk about the draw, just because, why not? No problem with the draw at all. Very lightweight. Even if we were talking about this being on foot, like not a mounted soldier, but on foot, it's a little long. It's kind of going into side sword, arguably even into rapier, shorter rapier territory. But I don't see, it being that big of a deal because it's very versatile and it's lightweight. So that's what I think about it. Super, super rad design. I like having a dragon on the guard as well, which is pretty sweet. We'll get some up close looks of that. Let's do some up close looks of this one in the scabbard and out of the scabbard. All right, talking about movement with this one, Kult of Athena is not funding for me to ride on horseback and to get horse riding lessons with the Saber. Not at this point. If you want to comment below and have them fund that for me so that I can start riding and maybe learn polo and start getting into mounted cavalry training, and you want to help fund that through the YouTube channel, that would be cool. But in the meantime, we're going to be talking about this one from the context of being on foot. So I'm going to move through guard positions just like I normally do, move through different guard positions, move through a little bit of cuts, so we can see the sword in as three-dimensional as possible through a screen, obviously being two-dimensional, so you can see how this thing moves, and maybe it's something you want to add to your collection. Let's take a look at that footage. Alright, so thanks for joining me for this review of the Beiyang Saber from LK Chen. This one's available at cultofathena.com. If you want a sweet cavalry saber with a dragon on the guard, you're going to want to pick this one up. Click the link in the description below this video to buy this one today if cavalry is something that you're into, if it's something you want to add to your collection for something more unique. LK Chen has got you covered. If this one isn't quite what you want, look into other LK Chen blades, because they do a lot of really unique stuff that I've been exposed to, different blade cultures that I've been able to research because of this being my job. So really good job on that, and the quality of the blades is excellent. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. I'm your host Tom for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next one.